Uriah, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, dude?
I'm doing good. So,
Yeah.
so a quick reintroduction to Uriah. He's my social media guy.
Hey.
Does an outstanding job, and he's not paying me to do this commercial. But he's also a very good friend. So, so I just wanted to reintroduce you again. And
Thank
you
you.
know what? If you guys have any social media needs, this is your guy.
Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
he basically built me up from nothing.
Yeah.
And so it's been a fun ride, and we continue to drive the path.
Yeah. It's important, man. In this day and age, having a social media presence is crucial. People tend to go towards social media to even learn who you are before they even Google you. So,
But see, this is kind of the difference, the way I see it.
yeah.
Anybody can do social media. We've seen all the crap on social media.
Yeah.
But it's like, what is your goal, right? We talked about when I first started, Jimmy, what's your goal?
Yeah.
And what did I say? Oh, I want to have more clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful, Jimmy, but it's a little bit more difficult than that.
Yeah.
But no, and I've grown in it. When I look at myself now from way back then, I've grown in it. And it's also being legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Being real, as you always talk about.
Yeah.
And anybody that's seen our podcast,
Yeah.
they know that a lot of it's not scripted.
Right.
We have bullet points.
Yeah. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here.
Just like in life.
Yeah.
So it's the last day of 2025.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
And it's a crazy thing because it flew so quick, right? When you get as old as I am, you slide down the mountain faster on the backside. So the year goes back a lot faster.
Right.
But for me, 2025 has been a challenging but also rewarding year.
Yeah.
And all the challenges I've been through and what I've gone through.
Yeah.
And I think we even talked about them on my podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm still building that. But if I want to look at the past year, we'll get to that later. We'll talk about 2026 coming up and what that looks like. But the one thing I wanted to start off with is interest rates. And this is why. Because people really don't understand what is meant by the Fed's announce we're dropping a quarter point to the real world.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because this happened, and I think we've talked about this, but this is great because we're going to go into this even more into 2026 because we're expecting more rate cuts.
Yeah.
So just because the Federal Reserve says they're going to do a quarter cut, that is the money, or that's the percentage that they're charging banks, right?
Yeah.
To use their money.
Right.
But the banks have all these other influence on them. Credit card debt, how much is in savings, economy, inflation, blah, 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 blah. So that quarter point hit may not even be a quarter point.
Right.
It may, in fact, in September and November, they cut it a quarter point and the next day the rates went up. So that's the misconception that I want people to understand. Okay, just because the rate said, oh yeah, the Fed dropped a quarter point, don't buy into all that crap. Right? Because the people that make the rates for the mortgage are the lenders.
Yeah.
And they have all these other things. And, they have to have a profit margin in there too.
Yeah.
So those are the things that sometimes people don't get because I've had customers come in and say, but Jimmy, they said it's down to a blah, blah, blah. I said, no. You kind of burst their bubble a little bit.
Well, and it's just really depicting between, what the media says and what people actually like it actually affects the buyer. Right. Like what is actually affecting the buyer? What is when rates get cut? Yeah, some of the banks, it'll actually go up.
Right.
It won't actually go down. What are some other things that would affect the buyer, even though the media is saying, hey, we're cutting? What are some other things that would affect the buyer in those cuts?
Okay, that's a great point. Because on one side, we have the interest rate from the feds and what the lender's doing. But when you look at a client going to either refinance or buy a home,
Mm-hmm.
their credit score matters, the down payment matters, how much debt they have.
Mm-hmm.
All that influences the rate also. So it's not like one rate across the board for everybody.
Right.
It's they take it at an individual financial look at that person and say, this is what the rate's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so we preach about, you know, get all your ducks in a row,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Get your free credit score because again, I had another gentleman say, Jimmy, I have a 720 on Experian. He came in at a 690.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Experian takes into a whole lot of other things. It's a different algorithm than lenders,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because so what if you buy a $40,000 car?
Right.
You know, a little risky. Oh, a $400,000 home. Well, we're going to dig a little bit deeper,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so there's so many facets that people just like take it and run with it.
Right.
Even when they're in front of a broker
Yeah.
or a banker or whatever, here's your rate. Well, explain the rate to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like the biggest thing is on a consumer perspective, right? They think, oh, there's just these set rates
Right.
for people based on their credit.
Yeah. Based on, yeah.
And so like, but it's not. You even mentioned, debt to income,
Right.
right? That's a huge play. And these days people live large. They think that they can, live like a rock star.
Well, I think
And then-
some of that, Uriah, has because of inflation now.
Yeah.
Because before the inflation really started going, people were in pretty good shape credit card wise. They had savings,
Yeah.
right? And all that's been blown out the window.
Yeah. What's savings?
Yeah.
What's savings these days? Nobody.
Yeah. I think that there's so many layers to this onion
Yeah.
that that people don't understand. And I'm not saying that I'm the guru of all this,
Mhm.
but when I have my clients in front of me, I explain so much to them. Right? I want them to be a smart consumer
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And the great thing about being a broker like myself is we have lenders fighting for their business.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to a bank, you go to a credit union, they have one rate sheet,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 or 5 rate sheets, So the bank's not competing against anybody per se because that's their one rate sheet,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not knocking the banks. I'm sure I get a lot of phone calls on that. But that's their business model, and that's fine
Right.
because there's a bunch of different business models out there.
Yeah, I would say, rates are just one piece
Oh,
of the entire puzzle, right?
Right.
In getting a mortgage, there's so many personal things that affect what type of rate you get. And minding your P's and Q's, and like you said just now, making sure that you start this process a little bit earlier,
oh,
is so
what?
helpful, right?
That's the thing too, and this is something that you don't want to rush into because there's a lot of documentation you have to send us, right, or to the lender. So it's one of those things where we start early, we walk slowly, we work through all this stuff because a lot of times they may not be ready, So there's a lot of things behind it, but the main thing is that my job is to teach them. My job is to guide them,
Yeah.
not to make that decision for them,
Yeah.
right? Because that's not what I do. I just present it
Right.
and say, I think this is the best route.
Yeah. Well, and so on the final leg of this segment and this topic, what are you telling those people that are like, Jimmy, I'm going to just wait for the right rate. I'm gonna wait until, it's low enough to where it fits my perfect budget. Like what are you telling those people right now?
God, I wish I had that patience. Really, in anything in life. This is what I tell them. That's fine.
Mhm.
All right. Because it's their money.
You're right.
But I ask, what rate are you looking for?
Mm-hmm.
If they say, well, Jimmy, like a 6, I said, we're close.
Yeah.
Right. We're close. 5, take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
3, you're on crack.
Right.
Because the 3% rates are gone forever.
Right.
Unless the economy totally blows up again.
Right.
But what I tell them is, if you wait and you keep waiting, then you're going to miss the market.
Yeah.
You might find that beautiful home, but it's not quite right where the rate is. And there's other things you can do to get that rate down. You can buy down the rate.
Yeah.
Right? You can refinance on your 7th payment.
Right.
So people get rate locked
Mm-hmm.
and they don't understand that, well, I can do all this other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be patient,
Yeah.
but you don't want to kick yourself later
Yeah.
because you didn't have the perfect rate and the house that you loved got bought because there's a lot of people on the sidelines. They've been on the
Mhm.
sidelines since last summer.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about 2026, but I think, hold on because
Right.
it's going to be busy.
Well, and I mean, shoot, you just had a client that called you right here, right now. That
Yeah.
people are coming back to the table.
Right.
And so, yeah, you miss your window of opportunity. If you really desire that rate, put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
Buy your rate down. Like, if that's the rate that you have to have before you move, okay, do it.
But sometimes, and here's the crazy thing too with that, people think, well, I'll just buy it down 2 points or something like that.
Yeah.
It may not pass the QM test as a qualified mortgage, right?
Mhm.
So you can have all the intention of, I want that rate, but it may not qualify.
Right.
So it could be 2 steps, right? Buy it down a little bit, then refi in the 7th month if the
Mhm.
rates keep going where they're going.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. And I feel like that's so helpful. That perspective of just being able to realize as a buyer that one, when the Fed cuts rates, it doesn't necessarily mean,
That
that they're
it's a
going to
one
get
for
that.
one cut.
Right. Exactly. And then two, perspective on buying and, the perfect time and the perfect rate.
There's
Like,
no such thing as perfect
there's no
time,
such
perfect
thing.
rate.
All day we'll talk about execution. Like, if you want it, go for it.
Right.
Indecision will handicap you
That's life.
for anything.
Right. That's life in general.
Work, family, goals. You have visions. If you just vision board it and you just keep it on that vision board and never actually do anything with it, like,
I've never understood a vision board.
I don't get it either, dude. I'm like,
or manifesting. I know we're going. See, this is what we do. We go off topic all the time. But manifesting.
yeah,
If you just believe enough,
right.
it's like it's going to happen. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You got to work your ass off.
I mean, I understand mindset and I understand,
but that's different.
like
That's
law
like-
of attractions and stuff like that. But
yeah,
yeah,
manifestation kind of like throw it to the spirit world.
get out there
I'm
and
gonna
do
get
it.
so much crap because I
Get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Like, actually put your hands to work. I'm a believer and I really believe, whatever you put your hands to,
right.
God's gonna bless. And if you're just sitting on them, waiting for it to come to you, not getting out there and having conversations, not like
working.
trying to move the needle at all, you're gonna be a dead fish floating down the river.
Here's my favorite. This is one of my favorite jokes of all time.
All right.
So the storm came up and the flood waters came. And this man's on his roof, right? Can't get off because the water's so strong. And this boat comes in. It says, sir, can we help you? He goes, no, God's going to save me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the boat takes off. Then another person comes in. Nope, God's going to save me. Then a helicopter comes in with the rope down. Nope, God's going to save me. So the man dies. Goes to the pearly gates. Said, God, why didn't you save me?
Yeah.
He goes, I sent 3 people to you to save you. What more do you want? That's with work, right? You can sit
life.
and
Yeah.
you can do this all day long
Yeah.
and wish for, oh, please, let that phone ring.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they call you? You're sitting on your butt just
Yeah.
with your...
Yeah. Yeah. It's a killer, dude. It's a killer, really, truly. That's so good. That's so good. Okay, so 2025. Let's get into it a little bit. This
Okay.
year, like 30,000 foot flyover. What did you see that was good? What did you see that was bad? What was the in between?
In the real estate market and the lending side, personally,
Yeah.
where do you want me to go with
I
this?
mean, you could talk about life too, but particularly, real estate.
The thing was, I was out of it for a while, And I jumped back in, as you know. I was still always in it, but there were other stuff going on personally that kind of took me away from it.
Yeah.
So I'm back in now, and it was a struggle,
Yeah.
right? Because my footprint had disappeared in a way. And then started to get back into it. And it was, had pops, but didn't really do a whole lot, for whatever reason. But then November came.
Mm-hmm.
And I got some freaking awesome clients.
Which usually this is the slow time, right? Like particularly like usually, you start to taper off toward the end of the year in a normal market.
Usually ready for the holidays, right?
Right.
So my first one, she was one that I had like 3 years ago, first time home buyer, out of Portales, Lil. Awesome. She's a sheriff deputy. She's awesome. And so she was with United Wholesale Mortgage, and whenever their credit's pulled, since United Wholesale Mortgage is on there, that's a trigger for us to call them. And I said, Lil, this is Jimmy. He goes, hi, Jimmy, how you doing? I said, hey, what are you doing? I heard you got your credit pulled. Well, me and my fiance are buying a house. I said, cool. I go, can I help? Right? Because I really enjoyed working with you last time. She goes, well, my mom introduced me to this guy at church, and he's going to. I said, okay, cool. I said, can I just have the opportunity to give you a quote? She goes, that'll be fine. So we went in, and the quotes were due on Tuesday, right? And this is Monday. And so I pretty much had mine worked out on Monday, and I was just going to check rates on Tuesday morning. So I called her. I said, Lil, this is the only favor I ask of you. I said, do not show him my sheet. And I don't want to see his sheet, because the whole premise was best offer up front. And a lot of these guys will drag it out to the afternoon and see what like we're doing and make it a little bit better. And I said, and she goes, Jimmy, I would never do that. That's not fair. Right now I'm saying you could be my daughter,
right?
And we end up getting it, and there was trial and error, right?
Yeah.
As you know, being in the business when you were in real estate. And then I got another first-time home buyer in Pueblo, 41, has a 13-year-old daughter, going to buy their first house. And instantly, man, there was a connection with him,
Yeah.
And what I found out in December is that I struggled all year long, right?
Yeah.
But man, I got my people, found some new agents, and I love being in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, Monday when I came back from Arizona, I'm in the middle of getting this closing done, calling people, right? And I'm thinking, wow, this is a bunch of headaches right now, but it is so cool.
Yeah.
Right?
While most people are complaining, like, I have to do this, you're over there like, man, I get to do this.
Yeah. I am so, and this is not a commercial.
Yeah.
Uriah knows me. I am so people driven, right? Because once you become my client, you're family. I know people say that all the time.
Yeah.
But with me, they really are.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to project to my clients, whether it's my real estate partners or to my clients. I will fight for them the entire day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will always try and keep my real estate partners involved all the time. Let them know what's going on, because you know what? I don't know really what they do. I have an idea.
Yeah.
But they really don't know what I do either. They have an idea.
Right.
So I was working with a real estate agent named Andrea. She's the one that did the first time home buyer with me in Pueblo. And we were talking 3 or 4 times a day, because she's on top of it also.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's such a cool feeling when you know that, man, my partner on the real estate side is just all in, right? Not pushing anything to me, checking in. And she goes, Jimmy, I'm sorry I'm checking in so much. I said, don't.
Yeah.
This is your client too, man. We're working together for this client.
Right.
So 25 ended pretty strong.
Good.
And the crazy thing is, there was 2 loans.
Yeah.
But yet it was like,
the hope that you needed, to end the year strong. Jimmy, what's the biggest lesson you learned in 2025?
Things change on a dime.
Hmm.
So I've been in Arizona. Well, as you know, I've been traveling back from Arizona all year long. And my dad's kind of having some issues, and my mom broke her wing. Well, her wrist, I call it her wing. But my dad's going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And in one instant, he was getting in and out of bed into his wheelchair. The next instant, he slipped and fell, hurt his back, and he's bedridden right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was a coach, a golfer, worked all the time, I mean, very active. Both my parents are very active. And I look at that and it's not, I don't want to use the word pity because my dad doesn't want pity.
Right.
But I feel his pain because I could not do what he's doing right now. He's so strong. And it made me realize that in a blink of a second, everything could change, right?
Yeah.
In a blink of a second, we may not be here.
Right.
So I listened to this guy on Facebook, and he put it perfectly. He said, you know what? Your great grandkids won't even know who you are, right? We worry about all this stuff,
Yeah.
getting all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And in a blink of an eye, it could be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So what was all the worry and all the excess
Yeah.
and all that about,
Right.
right? So I watched that, and I thought to myself, I got a lot of crap to clean out.
For sure, man. I mean, we get caught up in all the details of life and all this stuff, but yeah, that worry, the only thing it's doing is pushing your heart to the end. You
It
know,
is.
like it's not adding a single second to your life, you know? And yeah, we can definitely get too focused on that.
I heard this pastor say something I do a lot of, there's my Facebook, and he was talking about bitterness and anger and all that at other people. And he said that, because when I got scammed,
Yeah.
and I'm still kind of that way, but I have
Yeah.
to think about it. I was so angry at them,
Yeah.
right? He goes, they're gone.
Yeah.
You're the one holding all the anger. You're the one holding all the bitterness. You're the one that won't let that go. So they're not affecting your life.
Right.
They've already affected your life. You keep dragging this thing out like a ball and chain. And I thought, wow. I never looked at that way, that we find it justified to be angry,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we're really angry at ourselves because we
Right.
made the mistake. Well, that comes with forgiveness, but it's easier to project it on somebody else.
Oh yeah.
And they're freaking gone.
Yeah.
So really December was a month of, because I was with my parents for like 10 days during Christmas, and to see all the struggles, and then to hear those podcasts and to hear all that stuff, it's just like a new perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because like we said earlier, I'm going down the mountain pretty fast.
Yeah. So in the market in 2025.
Oh, yes.
So like you've got a couple things. You've got market challenges, right?
Right.
Finding stability and all this, right? You've got hesitation.
Right.
People like, oh, maybe I'll wait till next year. Maybe,
Right.
You've got this fatigue and uncertainty. I think everybody's facing it, trying to figure out stability, not just in the market, but just in life, because there's so much chaos that's at play.
Yeah. You know what? If
You know?
we can hold that for a minute.
Yeah.
So, and this is, okay, I'm going off script again. No script, just. So, trying to, my dad and mom have great insurance, right?
Yeah.
They have pensions. They have, they're doing really well. They did very well for themselves. They set
Yeah.
themselves up. But what I found out is that it's so hard medically
Mm-hmm.
to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be this hard.
Mm-mm.
Medical, there should not be a profit on a person's illness.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I know people say, oh, he's talking about socialized medicine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you know what? With the Affordable Care Act,
Mm-hmm.
that's under fire.
Mm-hmm.
how many would they say? 10 million, 12 million people won't have insurance. How can that happen in this country? It's unforgivable.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that how parents, my parents are, but then I saw some other people in the nursing home, and they're barely hanging on.
Right.
And I'm thinking, where the hell have we gone? Well, we're going to take away, for political reasons, health insurance to millions. And a lot of these people can't even afford it. And mine went up 20% just on the fact that they might lose it. Do you think if the ACA comes back that insurance companies are going to lower my 20%? Hell no. Hell no. That's what we have to think of as a country.
Yeah.
We have to stop putting greed and all this other crap in front of just being human.
Right.
You know, taking care of the poor, making sure the poor are fed, making
Right.
sure kids are fed.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Why is that an issue? Why is that even an issue in Washington? I'm pretty fired up about this.
Yeah, it's good.
Because there's no way a kid should have to starve in this country. And they're taking away food, you know, breakfast and lunch programs for the poor kids, you know, or for all kids. What the hell is there? What is it? I mean, as a country, we should be angry about this.
Yeah.
Not the Dems kind of, and then the other side going, oh, we're going to take all this away from you. As a country, we should not tolerate this.
Yeah.
And it just kills me that we're fighting about having people get a discount on their health insurance.
Yeah.
And it froze the Congress in November.
Yeah.
They have great insurance. They have some of the best insurance around, and they still get paid on their little vacations. What's fair about that? I'm done ranting.
No,
No,
it's good. I think you know, I think what it really boils down to is it's not just even these small topics that you're bringing up right now, right? Well, not just small, but big topics, right? It's not even the topical thing. It's what's at work even behind that.
Right.
You know, we're not really fighting against flesh and blood here. There's other things at work, which, hey, don't shoot me down, but there's other spiritual principalities at work behind the scenes that are causing utter chaos, right?
It's, you know what? It's one of the deadly sins is greed, right? So I don't know if we talked about this, but when they were getting rid of SNAP, I said, or they wanted to, and I said, why can't a billionaire just step in and write a check for 1 month?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
They have so much money, it would be multiple lifetimes.
Right.
Why is having another dollar so important? I don't understand that. It goes against everything, the way I was raised. You know, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, she's a freaking angel. She's getting rid of her money very quietly, right? All this got from the divorce. Everybody can do that. But a lot of times they want show.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully in 2026, a lot of that stuff will change.
Right.
We'll get back to normal. I'm not planning on it, but, you know, hopefully it will.
Yeah, so 2025 was a wild year. I think it was, there was a lot of things people faced personally, right? There's a lot of, you know, frustrations that people faced in the business world.
Yes.
In the real estate market, right? Because there wasn't a normalcy. There was no
there wasn't a consistency, right? I mean, the summer sales were pretty good.
Right.
If you look at the numbers, they weren't bad. Were they as good as they could have been? No. But what happens now? Here's the next thing that's going to happen, right? Let's say rates go down to 5% in 2026.
Feeding frenzy.
We're going to have more people coming to the market as agents, more mortgage people, right? So all that's going to flood up again.
Yeah, and then we're talking about not enough homes.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about, you know,
that's
overbidding, you know, all the stuff, inspection, you know, waivers and stuff like that.
So in 2026, inventory, that's going to be huge because we don't have a lot of new new homes going up because of what bills are facing economically and supply wise and all that other stuff. So now we have more people going to the market. We saw this during COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to the market, and then it becomes a bidding war. And people that just have enough just to get into the house, they get outbid,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's more frustration there.
Yeah.
But like I tell my clients, this is not your house. It was
Mm-hmm.
not to be your house.
Mm-hmm.
We will keep shopping and we
Yeah.
will keep working and stay in contact
Right.
because your house will come.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge topic of conversation come 26. I think everything's kind of building up back to what we experienced during COVID, and the longer people wait on the sidelines to,
I don't think
jump
they're
in the
going to wait
game.
anymore. They're
Yeah.
going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
Is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's our job too.
Right.
We're the coach.
Right.
We keep them pumped up, saying, "Okay, we move on."
Yeah. Speaking of which, for those people that don't know you, right? Maybe this is the first time they're seeing the podcast or whatever. Can you share a little bit about who you are, who you work with, why you do what you do, how long you've been in the market,
Oh,
all
sure.
this stuff?
So I'm Jimmy Oliver. I work with Indigo Mortgage, and we are based out of Carl Springs, and the home office is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I work with my best friend Ben Lucero. Um, I've been in the business for 7 or 8 years now, and what I like about it is it's fluid. There's so much to do all the time, but I really like working with my clients because this is such a big move for them, whether they're refinancing or they're buying a new home. I like to help guide them and teach them what all the terms mean and all that other stuff. And it can be challenging, but we were talking about earlier, like my two clients this past month that we closed it last week, it was challenging, but it was fun, right? There's an energy there. And if you're looking to buy, if you're first time home buyers, which I love first time home buyers, I don't know why, maybe, I don't know, because they want to be helped so much and they're just a sponge for information. And I really like that. And if you're going to refinance, give me a call. My number is 719-437-5151 or Jimmy at indigomortgage.net. And I'd love to hear from you. And I'm not a pressure guy. We'll talk and I'll guide and you make that final decision. But I'm not a high pressure guy because I don't like it. So I hope you have a great 2026.
And I know you to be a guy who walks people through the beginning and even before the beginning
Right.
of the process, all the way through, even after. You're checking on your people, you're making sure they're doing good, like you're with them every step of the way through the process.
That's what we see. That thing too. Sometimes it's easy to once you get the application, you just flip it to the processor, and she calls and finds out, and that's normal business, But I still like to keep in touch. Like I always tell. In fact, I drove my processor crazy with one of my loans. This one that we closed. She goes, "Jimmy, get away from me. This is my job." I'm going, okay, sorry. Stepped on toes. Won't be the last time. It won't be the last time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just it's a beautiful business.
Yeah. Well, you've got such a big heart, and you love to see people successful. Their success is your success. I know that to be true because I've just seen how you operate. But let's kind of pivot a little bit. Let's talk about what we can look forward to in 2026. I mean, 2026, there's a lot of expectation, I feel like, for a lot of people when it comes to the market. But what do you think is we'll just start with rates. What do you think is going to happen with rates in 2026?
So let's look at the bigger picture. What's happening in 2026? Midterms. What usually happens with midterms? Rates tend to go down. So I think we'll see rates going down.
Yeah.
But the next thing that we got to watch is inflation because it's still out there. People don't want to talk about it, but it's still out there.
Yeah.
And what I would start saying now that January 1st, tomorrow, if you're looking to buy a home in the next 3 to 4 months, really don't know where to start, call me
Mm.
and we'll talk, because we got to plan down payment. We got to plan all this stuff. And especially first time home buyers, there's a lot of programs that help you with your down payment.
Mm.
Okay. So, and if you're refining, it's the same thing. You know, if you have some credit card debt, whatever the case may be, but you know, sometimes refinancing the whole home is not the answer. Sometimes a HELOC will work just the same. And you're not, if you have a good rate, then you're not jeopardizing that good rate.
Right.
Right. So there's a lot of options out there. So there'll be a lot going on, but I think it's going to be a fast moving market.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an aggressive market.
Mm.
And, you know, there's going to be a lot of advertising out there about rates from lenders. And like everything else, they have to put the qualifiers in the bottom that nobody can frickin' read, right?
Mm.
Usually it's based on a 740 credit score, 20% down, blah, 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 blah. But they don't tell you that because the majority of people aren't there. So, but I think it's going to continue. I think it's going to start early, depending on Mother Nature too. I think it's going to start early, and I think it's going to wrap up September, October.
Mm.
I think it could be a long market.
Yeah. You think there's going to be a pretty big shift in buyer behavior trends? You know, like we were kind of talking about earlier, you know, people coming back to the table to actually shop
Yes.
and get out there. And then too, you know, like we touched on this a little bit too, but inventory, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you see with inventory in 2026?
See, inventory is a scary one.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't have, we have inventory, but it's not like we had 3 or 4 years ago, right? So we have inventory, but again, you can have all the inventory you want, but if you don't have a buyer, it doesn't matter,
Right.
you know? So I really think that the people that sat on the fence in 2025 will be very aggressive in 2026.
Yeah.
Because I think they realize that we can't sit forever.
Right.
Right. And so that's where I think a lot of this is going to come from. And as people, you know, people will move up and, you know, to a bigger home. A lot of starter homes be available. So we'll see that normal trend.
Yeah.
But I just think that it's going to be, I think it's going to be a good market. I do. But if for some reason here's my disclaimer.
Uh-huh.
If the economy goes to crap or the rates don't fall much more, then I think we're going to have the same thing we have right now.
Kind of like it's just more of a steady.
Yeah.
Like
Very limited.
We're hanging out here
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a little while. Okay. So what about personally? What do you got coming up for 2026?
You know-
What are some things that you got to do in 2026?
Work harder.
Okay.
You know, it's easy to kind of sit on the sidelines. Here we go again, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have a lot of activity going on,
Yeah.
right? But like I said, November, December were very good to me. And so now my goal is to meet more agents,
Yeah.
you know, because we're a small shop, Uriah.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times people think, oh, there's only like 2 mortgage guys and 2 processors. They can't handle it.
Yeah.
No, our freaking processors are workhorse.
Yeah.
You know, and we've always had enough manpower to get things done when we need to get them done.
Yeah.
Don't let a small shop fool you,
Yeah.
because a lot of times we're like the mom and pops, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll find a different level of service that you won't get there. Yeah, you'll get tired of me calling you, you know, but that's my job, right? I do not want a buyer, I mean, a client of mine saying, well, you know, after we got the application, Jimmy really didn't talk to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so don't be afraid of a small shop,
Yeah.
you know, and you know what? It's what I say too. If you don't like your mortgage person or your real estate agent, get a new one.
Yeah.
It's like a doctor,
Yeah.
you know, because personalities,
It matters.
yeah, can clash, or
Yeah.
they can be very good together.
Right.
So, but I think 2026 for me personally is going to be a lot of things, you know, getting back on my feet and, you know, just working hard and back on the bike and a lot of things.
Wait, you own a bike?
Yeah, God, you wouldn't. Don't talk to my bikes. They are so pissed off at me.
Yeah,
So
I was about to say, like, is this? You talk about bikes,
I
but
know. So here's what happened. So I walk in the garage, right, and I see the front of my bike at me, and I look at it, and the front wheel turns to the wall. They won't even look at me. You know what? That's tears. That's your girlfriend breaking up with you right there.
so okay. So tell me, what are you doing? Say it right now. Like, what's your goal
I
on
got
the
a
bike
I got a
this
coach.
year?
I got a coach
Okay.
because what I found out is I've tried all the online app stuff,
Yeah.
but you need a base.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting discouraged,
Yeah.
but I got the coach a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, haven't done crap. You know why?
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah. You've been going through it.
All I've been
So,
doing is flying.
yeah.
So I said that, I said, okay, things have stabled in
Right.
Arizona. And
January's tomorrow, dude. Like, it's time to get
dude,
on the saddle.
can you see this weather we're having?
What the heck? Is this Florida?
Yeah, I
In
know.
Colorado? Like, what in the
No,
world?
I'm so psyched because I rode in Arizona a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, here we go.
Yeah. My fish in the river are like, what the heck is going
They're
on?
fat.
It's freezing. Okay. I'm hiding. Wait. The sun's out. I'm here again. Like,
And Uriah is still not here.
dang, bro, put me on blast. Huh? No.
We're gonna live another day.
All right. So you talked a little bit about the professional side of things, and you're going to work harder and get out there and meet some agents. Personally, you want to get back in the saddle on the bike and stuff like that. What are what kind of advice would you give to people walking into 2026? They could not even be looking for a house, but just in general, what is something that you want to leave with somebody from 2025 moving into 2026?
On the mortgage side,
Yeah.
I would never say I can't afford it or I can't do this or I can't do that
Yeah.
without us going through the numbers, because it's very easy to say, well, I only have this in the bank and I can't afford this or blah blah blah. What's important is that you have somebody to go through the numbers with you. Say, okay, you don't have it right now, right? But this is February. We got 3 to 4 months to save money and get what we can. And if there's some down payment assistance we can find, great. Same thing with refi. What do you want to do? Do you want to pay off credit card? Do you want to work on your home? The case may be. A lot of times on the refi side, they may have other plans, right? It's not like for, home buying, especially first time home buyers, because there's a lot of stuff out there. The media is saying, oh, you can, these 30s and 40-year-olds can't afford a home right now. Well, that's just media stuff. Let me take a look at it. Let's go through the numbers. And I'll be totally honest because I'm not going to push a loan on anybody that doesn't make sense. That's just that's the way I roll. But we'll talk, give me an hour of your time. And as we go through stuff, pepper me with questions and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And then, even just on the personal side, is there anything that you want to kind of leave with people?
Life changes in an instant.
Yeah.
Don't have any regrets.
Mm.
And I saw that with my dad.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's what has sparked a lot of this last 2 weeks. So I saw this picture of this guy on a bike, right? He's racing one leg. And the picture says, what's your excuse?
Mm.
Now, you're looking at that going, oh, God, right?
Yeah.
I'm such a loser.
Right.
But no, really, that's it, is that things happen in an instant.
Yeah.
And we always talked about living your life and doing the best you can, but we get so dragged down in all the negative crap, right? Because there's a lot of negative out there.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, I was swimming in it. But you kind of have, and it's a fight every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like people that wake up, oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
But my sister told me, you can either choose to be happy or you can choose to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
From right off the bat.
Right.
and you can choose how to react when negative things happen.
Yeah.
Because everybody's great when positive things happen, right? They're happy. They got a little skip in their jump, in their
Right.
walk, you know.
Yeah.
But it's the other side. So I wish everybody an awesome 2026.
Mm.
You know, hope it's healthy for them and their families. I hope that all their goals that they set up come true. You know,
Mm.
I just want people to look and say, man, you know what? This is pretty good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Gratefulness. Gratefulness.
Yes.
Thankfulness. I think that's a huge piece. And that is kind of the wind that will keep your sails, going,
Right.
keep your boat moving.
Right.
Um,
You don't know where
and
it's going to go.
you
Either.
don't like, nobody's promised tomorrow.
Nope.
Nobody really knows what's going to happen in a year, in the next year. Right. It's just a matter of doing good with what you have,
Right.
and not so much focusing on, all the negativity on the media side of things. And, I mean, we've even talked about it, just being better and stuff like that.
Right.
But, that's a daily thing. That's
And it's a hard thing.
if you can just get, what did they say? 1% better.
Right.
1% better every day. It's doing a little bit better than you did yesterday.
Right.
That's it. Like, it's not, you don't have to kill it in one day. You don't have to kill it in a week or a month. Like, it's just getting better bit by bit. Like, that's my take on 2026 is I'm not going to like force myself to do some program and be 100% on it. It's going to be more of like okay, I'm going to do better with this.
Right.
I'm going to do better with my money. I'm going to do better with my access service. I'm going to do better with showing up for people.
Right.
Stuff like that. Like I'm going to break it up like that.
And I think sometimes too is that there's a couple things. Like when I was in Green Valley, there's a lot of angry senior citizens that live in a very nice place. And they're angry because they hang out with angry people.
Yeah.
Right? So I was talking to this one lady, and she goes, Jimmy, I had to get rid of friends. I said, why? Because they were just toxic. That's hard.
Yeah.
Right? But on the other side, what were they taking from her energy-wise? You know?
Yeah.
And it's hard to get rid of good friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But is that something that as a person you need to do?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's like almost like end of the year inventory.
Right.
Taking account, okay, I spent a lot of time and effort and energy in this and it produced me what?
Right.
But also like on the flip side, well, I didn't like this, but it made me better.
Right.
So maybe that is something that I need to like focus on.
Well, that's something
like,
you need to dive into.
Right, exactly.
Right. And this other stuff is if you're part of the problem too with that relationship,
Yeah.
then you need to step out of it anyway, because maybe you both are reacting to each other in your negative ways.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
blow that up.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody be happier.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you don't have to talk to them ever again. It just means that they're not part of your inner circle, and your
Right.
inner circle is the best.
Yeah.
That's the most important to you.
Yeah. Dude, Jimmy, this has been a depth of a podcast.
Can you believe that people don't believe that we can go that deep?
We did it. We
Surprises.
did it. Yeah. No, thank you so much. Dude, it's been such an amazing 2025 working with you. I've loved doing these podcasts.
Oh, me too.
With you. I love to see the growth, and you kind of talked about it at the beginning, but when we first started to where you are now, and like you're not scared to get into it, man. You're not like wondering about what people are going to think of you and this, that, the other. You're just going for it.
Well, so when I talk about some of these topics,
Yeah.
and I'm in the car coming to see you, I question.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the negative? And I'm thinking, no, because it's the right platform. That is something that we should talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and luckily, my father's been really good, because we've had a couple of yahoos that have said some negative stuff.
Right.
But overall, though, they've been really positive about it. So
yeah. Just got to keep it up. We just got to keep running.
I want you to have a great 2026.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You too, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna blow it up.
We're moving and grooving, baby.
That's it. That's it. All right, Jimmy. You have a good one.
Thanks, Uriah.
Yep.
Take care, brother.
All right.